Please welcome the Crossmen alumni and friends Play in the Park Project 2017. This is in conjunction with the Crossmen Hall of Fame ceremony. The whole thing is going to take us about 20 or 25 minutes. We're doing a couple of songs with this corps. If you want to hear like 5 or 6 songs, that's scheduled for the year 2023. Folks. So stick around. This is a work in progress. Ladies and gentlemen, to that end, we're going to get the Hall of Fame ceremony started in introducing now the voice of the Crossmen Hall of Fame, Mr. Jack Brennicky.
Thanks, Fran. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, on behalf of the Crossmen Alumni Association, I would like to thank DCI and Soundsport for inviting us to use this wonderful venue for our annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony. For our first induction this year, we are going to break with our usual protocol. Normally, we take the nomination letters that we receive for each individual nominee and distill them down into one cohesive bio to be read here in Allentown. Well, after reading the heartfelt nomination letters for those very close to our first inductee, I've decided to read directly from those letters. Our first letter comes from Jeff Sachtig. Dear committee members, it is with great pleasure that I nominate Michelle Owens posthumously to the Crossmen Hall of Fame, class of 2017. Michelle had a rich 13-year history with the Crossmen dating back to 1990. She was a member of the Guard for 5 years, from 1990 to 1994. She was a talented performer who led by example. Michelle was in the weapon line all 5 years and at times was a featured performer. She was always helpful to others and cared a great deal for her fellow members, both on and off the field. Michelle was the Guard captain her last 2 years. After Michelle aged out in 1994, she went on to teach the Guard from 95 to 2000. Through the years, she worked as a tech, a writer-choreographer, and caption supervisor. Michelle was part of the team that produced some of the best Guards the Crossmen ever had. Michelle was loved by all because of the way she taught, always demanding, but with a warmth and a charm that was inviting to all. Countless people through the years have said that Michelle was their favorite instructor. She got the best out of her students because she supported them. Michelle would take the time to individually help those that needed it. She learned every count of the show so she could understand firsthand the issues the performers were having so that she could be very specific on how to make her students better performers. Aside from building great performers, Michelle also believed her role was to mold these young people into strong, independent, caring human beings. Michelle was an all-around great educator and an asset to the Crossmen. Michelle went on to teach other groups such as the Magic of Orlando, the Cadets, and the Troopers, but she came back home to teach the Crossmen in 2015 and 2016. Michelle was caught off guard at the emotion she felt when she got back in front of the group in 2015. Michelle spoke about what a great feeling it was to be back home where she started. It was a special year for that drum corps to have someone teaching them that connected them to the corps of the past. Michelle was giving of herself not only to the Guard, but members of the whole Corps who were interested in stories from the 90s. It caused members she marched with and taught 15 to 25 years earlier to take an interest in the Corps once again. In September of 2015, Michelle was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She lost that battle a year later in September of 2016. Michelle's personality was one that was always giving to others. She was always more concerned with how you were doing and what was going on in your life than herself. It is with this simple character that she was loved by all who met her. Michelle had a smile that could light up a room and make people feel good. Michelle's love, support, and kindness to others came back to her tenfold as she battled cancer. So many people from Michelle's past reached out to her. It was a testament to the lives she touched through the years. It was also a true awakening for both of us that if you lead a good life and care for others, you will truly be remembered. Michelle's was a life cut short, but a life well lived. Those were the words of Jeff Sachtig, and I would like to add this from Gary Kazakrian. I firmly believe her contribution to the overall morale of the entire drum corps during those glorious years was monumental. Always there to talk to offer emotional support and leadership by example. Michelle's impact on the Crossmen in all ways was significant. And finally, this from Eric Kitchenman. Like a pebble dropped into a pond, Michelle's influence on the Crossmen resonated for many. And to this day, those ripples keep pushing the personal and professional boundaries of those she inspired. That's the spirit of Michelle. People all over our activity, either in marching band, color guard, or drum corps, knew Michelle and were touched by her presence. They met her or crossed paths with her, and they simply cannot forget Michelle Owens. Presenting the plaque is John Sackey, and accepting on behalf of Michelle is Jeff Sackey. Ladies and gentlemen, the Crossmen Alumni Association is proud to induct into the Crossmen Hall of Fame class of 2017, Michelle Owens.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, for Michelle Owens. How about that? Wonderful. Thank you, Jack. Jack will be back later with the rest of the inductees. By the way, for the folks here who are not aware, there is a tree planted in Michelle's honor just to the right of the main sound sport venue. Feel free to get your picture taken by that tree. Jeff has requested that people post those pictures if they can on Facebook or social media to honor her. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Here's where the Crossmen Play in the Park project comes in for this whole thing here. As we heard, Michelle Owens was a member of the 1992 Crossmen. The song that's going to be played is a song that was in that show, the Crossmen's Songs for Planet Earth production from '92. The ballad of that year was called Under the Sun. The soloist, a couple of notes about this. The soloist, Brian Miami Gill, from 1992, he was a young man then. He played the solo in '92. Brian is back to play the solo 25 years later. The 1992 brass chart was arranged by Matt Krimpaski, who is also here with the corps today. Brian, why did you get more applause than Matt? We're trying to figure that out. We have no idea. All right. The drum major for the Crossmen Play in the Park project is Jill Moyer, drum major for 1997 and 1980 Crossmen, and currently a contest coordinator for Drum Corps International. Ladies and gentlemen, as we heard, ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Owens touched a lot of lives in a lot of very positive ways. So, to honor her memory and to salute her legacy and a life well lived, the Crossmen Play in the Park project presents Under the Sun. is also playing in this corps, so it takes a minute or two to make these transitions here. As soon as Jack gets back here, we'll continue with the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and then we're going to close with a tune that, well, a lot of Crossmen fans, drum corps fans, are going to know. Trust me. So stick around. We'll be there. It's another tune in just a few minutes. Jack Brennicky, ladies and gentlemen, the Crossmen Hall of Fame induction ceremony.